I was having a conversation with my friend Dwight, who's not here with us today, but has been to multiple Purpose Summits. We were having this conversation about the word impact. What does the word impact mean? And you just heard Josh say that words create worlds. And when I asked Dwight, I said, how would you define impact? He says, that's a great question. I think impact is when we choose to enter other people's worlds. And I thought, ooh, that is so good. When we choose to enter other people's worlds. Yesterday, we kicked off Purpose Summit Week for the first time with an event called Impact Monday. And it was an absolutely transformative day. We partnered with 4 different events and 3 different nonprofits around Charlotte, where we went into some of the most challenged economic neighborhoods, some schools where there was extreme poverty. We partnered with Least of These Carolinas, where we filled bags for foster kids. We partnered with Beds for Kids, where we filled welcome home baskets for people who were homeless and now have a home, and delivered beds to kids who had not slept on beds. And we partnered with Samaritan's Feet, and we went to schools and we put new pairs of shoes on kids who had never had a pair of shoes. And yesterday, as I was at one of the Samaritan's Feet events, I'm sitting down and I'm untying this little boy's shoe, and I'm taking off his sock that had holes in it and was dirty and wasn't washed, and took a new pair of shoes and new pair of socks and put them on them, and watched his face light up. And he said, "This is the best day ever." And I'm looking in his eyes, and all I can think about is, what's his story? What's his world look like? What does it look like to enter his world? And how will this moment, this simple act of choosing to put a new pair of shoes on a child, impact his life and create a ripple effect? Who will he become? For those of you who don't know Manny Ohanmi, who's the founder of Samaritan's Feet, was given a new pair of shoes at the age of 9 in Nigeria by a missionary who was there, and they were playing basketball. And he had to shoot the basketball in order to win the pair of shoes. Now, as Josh just alluded to, I'm vertically challenged. So if I were to have taken that shot, I probably would have missed. But Manny made the shot, and he won this pair of shoes. Those shoes changed his life. He all of a sudden had access to education in Nigeria. He all of a sudden had access to employment in Nigeria. He would come to the United States and become a professional basketball player and a successful business person. And he would go back to Nigeria years later, and he would remember the impact those shoes had on him. He said, "You know what? We need to end shoelessness in the world." And his story went on to spur a vision to impact 1 million people across the world. Today, they've delivered their 12th millionth pair of shoes across the world, changing lives. And I'm looking at this kid, I'm wondering, I'm like, can this kid have the same impact that a Manny had? Can you have the same impact that a Manny had? You see, this isn't just about putting shoes on kids or filling baskets or filling bags for foster care children. This is about choosing to make a conscious decision to use the gifts, talents, abilities, and skill sets and blessings that you've been given to intentionally enter the world of those around you. One of the stories that I came across yesterday was one of the schools that we had went to. 30% of the kids in that school were homeless. They would sleep in their cars at night and go to school the next day. And the teachers knew this statistic. And the teachers pulled together their income and bought washers and dryers and put them in the school. And when the kids come to school, they would wash their clothes and send them home with a brand new, clean pair of clothes to come to school the next day, knowing that they were going home to sleep in their cars. They were choosing to enter the worlds of the very kids they were teaching. That school is 10 minutes from where you are sitting tonight. We have businesses in this room. We've got nonprofits in this room. We've got investors, philanthropists, faith-driven people. We've got people from every sector where purpose means something. And yet somehow I read a statistic that 85% of people in the world are experiencing loneliness. Well, how can that be? If purpose means so much to us, and we've defined purpose by choosing to enter the worlds of those around us, by impacting their lives, how could we be thirsting for purpose but have 85% of people feeling like no one is entering their world, feeling like they're not seen, not heard, not valued, that they're alone? Last night I was at dinner with our opening panel that you're going to hear tonight. We have a group of people from Australia, from Amsterdam, from India, and we're sitting at this table and we're sharing these thoughts. And one of them said to me, actually Nick Craig looked around the room and he said, let me ask you a question. What do you want your ROI to be for coming here this week? I mean, you invested 22 hours on 3 different flights, a lot of financial investment to be here, a lot of time commitment to be here. What do you want your ROI to be from the summit? And one of them said, I already received my ROI. Today was worth the trip. And we said, what do you mean? And he said, I didn't know those problems existed in America. I didn't know that there were business leaders and businesses that wanted to do something about those problems in America. I didn't know that there were individuals in America who looked beyond their own self-serving interests, needs, and egos, who wanted to actually impact the lives of those around them. So his ROI wasn't return on investment. His ROI was return on impact. So my question to you as we kick off the Purpose Summit is, what is your return on impact going to be? How are you going to take what you glean over these next 3 days, the insights that you hear, the stories that you hear, to choose to enter the worlds of those you employ, those you go home to, those in your community? Because the only way that we can change statistics like 85% of loneliness, which leads to so many other things, is by choosing to not be human doings, but to be human beings, to be present in the lives of those around us, and to use the gifts, talents, and abilities and skill sets that we've been given for a greater purpose beyond ourselves. My friend Kent Chevalier at the Purpose Summit last year said, your purpose will never be about you, but it will always involve you. You see, when we choose to focus on purpose with others, purpose has no meaning. It's our impact on others that gives our purpose our very meaning. More than anything that you hear from this stage over the next few days in those rooms, more important than that is what you choose to do with it out there. What you choose to go home and to take inspiration and put it into action and to move that action into impact. To move those things from your head to your heart to your hands. Because each and every single one of us have an opportunity to create a ripple effect like Manny. Each and every single one of us have the opportunity to bring joy like a robin. Each and every single one of us have the opportunity to find the next Simon, who, maybe you're there for business, maybe you're there for something transactional. But if you're present and listening to the things that are going on around you, you might be there for a greater purpose. Each one of us has the opportunity to go and find an Eric Brooker, and to be brutally honest and to speak life into that person with care and candor. Each one of us has the opportunity to be a Josh Wymore and to see ourselves not as we are, but as who we can be and who we can become. Over these next 2 days, you're going to hear stories of resilience. You're going to hear stories of struggle. You're going to experience thought leadership from incredible authors, talent, and speakers in this room who each have their own stories. And I will tell you this as an author, that most authors and speakers often write and speak out of their deepest pain, out of their deepest struggle. And each one of us has a deep pain and a deep struggle that if we're being honest with each other, if we choose to be vulnerable with each other, someone somewhere is waiting for you to share your story to be the inspiration they need to go through their stories.